Hey everybody, we're back again for another episode. Okay, that's fun. I already broke the glove, so here we go. All right. That's why you get a box of gloves. So again, we're back with another episode of Dell Dishes, and we're getting gloved up here. Today we have a mystery meat. We'll have to see. Open the bag. Oh, that's the bad one. See what's in the bag for us to cook today. I already know what it is because obviously they don't just deliver bags of meat to the house. Should be kind of interesting. All right. I don't know. All right. So today we're gonna open up our bag of meat and see what we got. What we're gonna work with today. So what we've got here, we've got from Scott's Meats, we have a 9-pound brisket. It's a whole brisket. Looks like it's a little compact. Some of the other ones that I get, but typically it's a whole brisket and it's pretty hefty. So we'll get this trimmed up and get it on the smoker today. Dalstrong knives. These are what I use. I found them to be very sharp. To maintain the blade. And the best thing that you're going to be able to do is when you're working with a piece of meat, you need to be able to have a sharp knife that's going to be able to cut it. So you'll see almost all the knives that I have are Dalstrong. So just in case you were looking for a specific knife. This is a 6-inch, no it's not. Yes it is. 6-inch boning knife. Again, for me, I'm using Dalstrong knives. You can get these on Amazon. I'll leave the link below. We're going to cut to this meat. Now, some people will get into a debate about whether or not you should wash your meat. I'm in the camp of just patting it down. Again, we pat our meat, we don't rub it. So we're patting the meat, trying to get the blood or the saturation off, and then we can start looking at how we're going to trim up this brisket. Thank you, camera woman, for assisting me there with the paper towel here. So as we're looking at this brisket, we've got our point, and apparently the flat was cut off of this brisket when we got it. But one of the things that we want to do is we want to make sure we have our meat side here, and then you want to feel the brisket. And on the brisket, you'll notice that there's some hard parts. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to cut that off, because that's not going to render down through the cooking process. So let's get that. So what you want to do is you want to feel for where it's going to begin. I don't know if you guys can see that here. So we're just going to take that. You want to be mindful that you're not cutting through. And you just get it started. Okay, so we're actually just going to take part of this just completely off. These soft fatty parts, those are going to render down. But if you see them and you don't like the way that looks, you can definitely cut it off. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to trim a little bit of that off. But the hard parts is what we really want to kind of focus on. Now, on the fatty side, you definitely want to make sure that you're keeping at least, see all this in here. Yeah, that's going to be nice. We've got some hard fatty parts in here, so we want to definitely try to trim that off. Understand, you guys can see from here that fat is definitely a flavor in moderation. We want to make sure that we're keeping all the parts that are going to render. And render just means cook down, add flavor into the meat. So that's going to be where a lot of our flavor is going to come from. Now, how much you trim is 100% up to you. You just definitely want to, you can trim a lot, you can trim a little, totally up to you. But I want to make sure that this is going to come out the way that we want to look at it. We want it to be tender, we want it to be moist, we want to create a nice little bark on it. I'm going to trim it up here on the back side here just a little bit. I want to try to make it as aerodynamic as possible. Meat being aerodynamic. But just want to trim it up a little bit so that we can, so as the smoke rolls across the brisket, that it's absorbing as much as possible. All right. Now what I'm doing right now is I'm scoring the fat, which makes it a little easier to pull off what I want and not what I don't. All right, I'm gonna trim up the rest of this one and we'll be right back. Hey guys, all right, we're back. Trimmed it up best we could. We definitely have, you know, separation here. Now what this is that on the point here, it'll separate into two muscles that actually overlay each other. They're not flat on top, but they're overlay each other. And people will cut this lower piece off once the brisket is actually done and make brisket burn-ins, and that's not what we're gonna do today. We're gonna cook this whole thing. So we kind of trimmed it a little bit more than I typically do, but we wanna make sure we remove any of the hard parts, hard fat, and hard pots of meat that are, you know, through the scoring processes they're getting. What we do now is we're gonna add a binder to this brisket. And what a binder does, it acts as an adhesive to the meat to allow your rub to stick with it, to stick onto it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna slather this up. And what I like to use is French's yellow mustard. You can find it in any store. But I find that it works very well. So you just wanna slather up. You won't taste the mustard during the cooking process, but it will help the rub to adhere. So you wanna make sure that you get the mustard all over the meat. Some people season the fat side. I do. So we will, that's why you see me adding the applying the mustard to that side as well. Now we're gonna cook, today we're gonna cook fat side up to allow the fat to pull down into the actual We're going to use Harry's Soul's Slap Your Daddy Barbecue. This rub is really good. It's simple, earthy. It's got a wonderful aroma to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to season up. We're actually going to start with the meat side because we're going to cook fat side up. So we want to season this first. We're going to let it sit for about 15 minutes, and then we're going to come back, flip it over, let it set for another 15 minutes after we add some more rub to it, and then we're going to get it on the smoker. So again, we want to season up high. I like to do generous coatings of this. And again, as we allow it to sweat, it is going to allow the rub to go into the meat and help pull some of that moisture out. You want to make sure that you get all sides. All right, we have a generous application. Oh, look at that. All right, you want to pat it down just a little bit. Or we're gonna go out there and get the smoker fired up. We'll be back here in 15 minutes. Flip this bad boy over. We'll see you in a little bit. Hey everybody, we're back. Just went outside, fired up the Masterbuilt 560. Layered in some lump charcoal, and we're going to use post oak today. So we have that in different layers as it's going to be a longer cook. Right now, it's been about 15 minutes. You can see how the moisture is starting to pull out of the protein, which is what we're looking for. What we're going to do is we're going to flip this bad boy over. We're going to layer it we're going to season the other side with that rub with Harry's Soul's, and then we're going to get it on the grill. We'll see you out at the grill. Hey everybody, we're outside. As you can tell, it is hotter than the dickens out here. It's supposed to be probably about 90, 95 today. This is not a dry heat. We live in Michigan and it is sweltering. But we're still making some good meat today. So right now we have the Masterbuilt 560 going. About to put on the brisket. Getting it up to temp right now. Again, we layered it with post oak and lump charcoal all the way up, so as it burns through, we want to make sure that we're burning into that post oak to get that good smoke for the long cook today. As you can see, we have it's getting some pretty good smoke out of there right now. So that's where we're at right now. We'll be back in a minute. Hey everybody, we are back. It is about 2 hours in, and we're gonna go ahead and open this thing up and see what it looks like. Oh man, look at that beauty. See that the bark is starting to form very nicely. We're gonna go ahead and spritz it down. This is just apple cider vinegar. And you wanna make sure that you get a nice spritz over everything. Oh man, everything is looking beautiful. It's got a nice good tone to it. Let's get that in there through the back. Woo. She is looking pretty. I don't know what you guys are actually looking at because I can't see. But she is nice and pretty. Gonna get a nice good spritz there. We're gonna get it shut back on down. All right. So 275. She's looking pretty good. We're gonna keep it there. 275 for the next, and we'll check back on an hour or two. About two more hours. Let's go ahead and open it up and take a look. And look at that. Yeah, we've got a nice bark on there. Still continue to build. Got a little bit of moisture on top, so we're trying to allow that to run off. Oh man, look at that baby. So we're gonna spritz it down again. Doesn't really need it, but still like to do it anyway. You know, some people say, you're not looking, you're not cooking, but go down there on top. Oh yeah, this thing is looking nice. All right, so we've been going at 275. I know just because I put a temperature probe in there, we're at about 156. If this gets going a little bit more, usually it'll hit a thermal stall around 165. What a thermal stall is is where the meat is, it kind of basically, it's like a car engine. It'll stall, and then you'll have to break through that stall. So typically that's when most people wrap, either using aluminum foil or they'll wrap using butcher paper. Today we're going to go with butcher paper. And so once it get up to about 165, we're going to wrap it, get it back on there until it breaks through to about 200. So once it gets up to 165, we'll be back, we'll get it wrapped up, and we'll continue on with the cook. See you then. We're back, guys. Go blue. The meat right now is 170 degrees. We wanted to try to get it off about 165. Unfortunately, life got in the way and weren't able to get it off there in time. We've got some meat hugger pink butcher paper here. We're gonna get it wrapped up. We're gonna grab the brisket, get it off here. We're gonna wrap it up between 2 sheets of butcher paper and get it right back on the smoker until we break 2 to 200. We'll see you in just a second. All right, guys, we are back. She is looking real nice. So this time, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go, ooh, man, let me get this thing wrapped up. Ooh. Not the best wrap that I've done, but we got her. That is actually really bad. All right, got it wrapped up. Getting it back on. Hey everybody, we're wrapping up. We've had the brisket inside resting for about an hour. We're gonna recap what we did. We got the brisket out, we trimmed it up. We then added a binder, which we were using the yellow mustard. We then also used the Slap Your Daddy by Harry So. We got it on to the smoker for the first 2 hours. We kept it at 250. Then we bumped it up to 275. And total cook time was about 7 hours. We then took it off, let it rest we took it, well, let me back up. We wrapped at about 170. We took it off at about 200. Let it rest for an hour, and now we're gonna cut into it. So we're hoping that we came out with a good one. It's a little bit different than what I usually do. But for this video, I wanted to make sure that I recounted everything. So let's dig into it and let's see what we got. All right, first of all, if you see that jiggle, you know it's good. So let's get this bad boy out of here. Whew, it's kind of warm. All right, it's got a real nice bark on it. And with using that butcher paper, what it allows you to do is it still allows the smoke to permeate through to continue that bark while we're still smoking and cooking through. Aluminum foil, you're actually going to be doing more steaming, so it's actually going to be softer. So let's, oh, I'm really excited. Let's cut into this bad boy. Now with the point, we're going to try to cut with the grain, and I believe that we're going to go this way. Oh, it's got that good bark. All right. Now these are a little bit thick pieces, but what I want to show you is you can see that nice smoke ring that we got from that post oak. Just pulls apart like butter. It's got that great bend to it. Oh, that's beautiful. Let's try to cut some off from this side. Actually, let's go ahead and just cut it down. Actually, nope, let's make sure we're going with the grain just like we said. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful juices coming out there. It's nice. It's moist. Oh man, it is just falling apart. Look at that. Just nice, moist, juicy. What we're gonna do is we're gonna set it up to try to help save some of that juice in there. And let's man, look at that, just pulling apart like butter. Woo! Man, that's that good stuff right there. All right. Boys, you ready to try some? Yes. All right. All right, let's say our prayer. Close your hands. Close your eyes. Say our prayer. Amen. Here we go.
Thank you.
Here we go. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Me.
Is it good? Is it good, Luke? Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, to my camera woman. All right.
Daddy.
How's it taste?
Good.
Really good.
All right. Oh, man, you got that post oak. You got the undertone of the hairy sauce, so that's really good. But you're actually getting a really tasty meat, which is really good.
Daddy, I want some more.
How do you ask for more?
Hurry.
Yes, you may. There you go, bud. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go in the living room. All right, guys. Man, sorry, so good. All right, we're gonna get wrapped up here, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Please click like, subscribe to the channel for more cooking. We'll bring it to you as soon as possible. Again, thank you guys for all your support. I mean, I think we have like 100 subs or close to 100 subs already. Thank you guys so much from all of us to you. We'll see you later.